Hey spirited seekers, I know that you're here because you want to make social media feel more sacred. Now, if you have made it this far, you know that I do it a little bit differently. I believe that there is a new way of relating to technology that we have to really take ownership and look at closely at the moment, because being so connected to our devices and hooked into the matrix of social media is not working. It's not sustainable on our nervous systems. You know that you're not here to get the standard cookie cutter sales pitch. You know that you're not here to learn how to expand your following, because that's not my zone of genius. You can Google that and find an Instagram teacher or a Facebook marketing teacher on the internet just like that. So I know that if you're here, that's not what you're after. What you really want is to redefine your relationship to technology, to not have to live with your phone in your hand, to get really fucking rebellious against the system of more is better, of endless content consumption, and being totally plugged in all the freaking time. My intention for you through this mini workshop is to just prompt the conversation of what social media actually means to you, how it gives to your life, and then also the ripple effect of you showing up and what that gives to others. I have found that in this spiritual business space, there is a lot of ego and narcissism attached to what showing up means. So a lot of people might say that you're being a disservice if you're not showing up in your medicine, which I absolutely believe in. However, what we're all teaching each other to do and bumping around on this human journey, instigating others to do, is to simply come back home to their own genius, to their own self. Of course, there's spaces and places where we need help and support and to learn from others that have something that we don't. But if you're in a wellness space, healing, a coach, all of my website clients that I tend to work with are in this space, then this conversation is for you. Because your followers, your clients, don't need you to save them. And so a lot of us have this fear that if we don't show up on social media on a consistent basis, we become irrelevant, we become forgotten. Now, the greatest teachers of our time and all of the times before are the ones that we know by name and get recycled over and over and over and over again, their quotes, their books, because they're lasting legends in the field. And this is not from a consistent social media presence. This is not from expanding their following to be really, really big. This is from just them being in their genius. And so that's what I'm going to always invite you back home to today. Where is your genius, and how can you stay in that space as often as possible? And then also, what becomes junk food for your genius and hinders it and suppresses it and keeps that hiding away wherever you're leaking out your energy, giving your power away, giving your attention away, giving your attention and focus to be disrupted through the notion that you should be doing more, you should be posting more, you should be creating more, you should be being in your business more. My message is that when you're in your medicine, when you are in the art of allowing and practicing this space of receivership, it's not more information that you need to give, it's more space that you need to give yourself. Yeah, so let's dive in. So, one of the greatest practices that I was introduced to last year by my roommate and incredible psychotherapist, Amber Hawken, was this practice of giving your life a number. So we're going to talk about money a little bit in this as well, and how to money, like a monetary value, and clients or followers on social media, how do they come into play with each other, right? So if you're driving your social media presence with wanting to just go big and feel like you're not enough until you have 10,000 followers or 100,000 followers, this brings back into clarity that you don't actually need what you think you need. So I want to run you through this quick process first. Grab out a journal, a piece of paper, and a pen. And what we'll do is basically list out every single thing in your life that costs money. And I don't want to just talk about life now, but I want to talk about 2020, dream life, living la vida loca, your best, biggest manifestations have come into fruition. Let's go there. So on your piece of paper, write down, the standard life admin investments. Every single thing that you can think of in your life that requires that you have money to pay for it, I want you to list that down now. You might like to just pause this video and take 10 to do this, even opening up your bank accounts and looking through in the last week where you've spent money, circulated money, I'll correct my language there, and get radically honest about where your money is going and what you need money for. So hit pause and I will see you on the other side of just noting down all of these things in life that require your financial investment. Okay, well done on getting radically honest about where your money is going. Now we have a figure of how much your dream life costs. Why this is so helpful is now we can work backwards and break up your time and how much it's actually valued, so that you can get really clear on if your pricing structure is going to allow you to hit your goals and how much impact and influence you really need to have to convert potential clients or followers into sales. Now we know that within the container of 12 months of 2020 and beyond, you have a time frame to create and generate this amount of money. So this will just get you really honest about where you might be pricing yourself too low, and also prompt some creativity about how you can create an offering that might offer yourself passive income, opening up different streams of income to create up more space and time. Because I know if you're here, you're totally done with this idea of exchanging time for money. That is the old paradigm of business. That's not how we do it here. Do you think that you would be coming here to Spaceship Earth with this medicine inside of you, with this vision, with these skills, with this connection to something greater, and not be taken care of? Do you really think that? So let's get really clear about wiping up and cleaning up our money shit, so that we can have a clean slate to really focus on what the effort is we're doing here, which is being of service, not only to others, but to ourselves and our own evolution and self-development. So you now get to divide that number of how much your dream life costs, how much money you'll need to live the life of your wildest dreams, of health and wellness and generosity, and work backwards to divide it by the different services and offerings that you already have. So get really real. Is this an unattainable goal that you have? And where can you reconfigure the dream? Or if you're more like me and you're not really for scrapping the dream and budgeting, go big. Where can you offer more value? Where can you open up new potential streams of income? Now, why the heck are we talking about this? Once you're clear on that, you will know how many clients you need per year to actually make your financial goal a reality. So when I did this exercise last year, I was actually so surprised that for me to earn the amount of money that would blow my freaking mind out of the water, I needed 20 clients in 1 year. And that number is not scary. That wasn't tens of thousands of people that I needed to convince them to pay me money. What I needed to focus on is how can I give the most value and intention and generosity with my presence and my love and care to 20 people and be in receivership of money to support my dream life in exchange for that. Now, why this makes such a difference in the social media conversation and the marketing conversation is because if you have a higher ticket item as a service, you need less people, obviously. And this just creates this shift in your mind that having a bigger following does not equal having more money. It does not equal having more impact, really. Because when you think about it, how many of your live your big life transition moments or the big miracles that you've experienced have actually come from an Instagram post. Yes, perhaps some things have triggered or prompted you to take a different action, but what actually has changed your life? Usually it's when someone is in deep presence with you. Usually it's when you've cultivated enough courage to take a leap. Usually it's when you've invested in yourself for an experience that you've always wanted to have. So let's strip away the narcissism that comes with you showing up on social media equaling you being important or influential, and get back to the heart of things, which is being in your medicine as much as possible, rather than giving your power and your time away to getting sucked down the rabbit hole of social media. What I really, really love to do in this realm is to create really strict boundaries around my technology use. This makes sure that I have at least one day per week where I'm completely unplugged from Instagram, Facebook Messenger, and gives me space to attune back to my own self. This also instigates coming to terms with whatever guilt or obligation you might have and meeting those stories and just shredding them to pieces, like I've just said. You showing up does not mean being glued to your phone all moments of every day. You showing up means being ruthless with your energy, being in protective mode of where you might be leaking that out, and calling all parts of you home so that you can actually focus on what you want to do in this one wild and precious life, which is not spend 3 hours a day on your phone or in your email inbox, right? So my current technology boundaries are that my phone goes on airplane mode between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't have any calls before 9 a.m. My structure is that clients don't get to speak to me until 10 a.m. That is how it works for me because I like having my nights slow and my mornings slow. However, once again, this is super intuitive and in reflection of what works for you. You might be a night owl and be super creative, and so you need technology up until the late hours, and then perhaps you can leave it off until 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. But I definitely and highly encourage having an airplane mode block of time every single day that you get to train others to learn that you are not accessible 24 hours a day. And meet the fear that arises and comes up with that. Notice how you think how important you might be if people are trying to reach you. It's actually really fun. It's a great humbling experience to learn that it's not actually all that important. Being accessible does not equal freedom. So take ownership of your time, of your schedule, and implement an airplane mode block of time every single day. You can do it automatically. I know on iPhones you can just turn on night shift mode and it will stop all of your notifications, but I physically turn my Wi-Fi off and keep it on airplane mode for 12 hours of every day. Definitely also encourage you to have one full day per week where there is zero social media or zero emails. If you're in this for the long game, you need to take your energies and your emotional body and your nervous system with a lot of tender, nourishing care. Burnout will catch up with you real friggin' quick if you keep choosing to do. So take that one day. A Sunday or a Monday is energetically most supportive of this. Monday has this really like slow and introspective, reflective energy to it for contemplation and creativity and kind of going into a cocoon. And obviously everybody knows Sunday is more this day of like relaxing and chilling and not focusing on work. So pop that in the calendar, get really brave and turn off your fucking phone. That will just allow you to come to a fresh new week re-inspired and reinvigorated on what you can dish out to your followers. I deeply, deeply care about the nervous systems of soulful entrepreneurs because we need you to be in a relaxed, receptive state so that you can do the work that you're here to do. In terms of social media, you will obviously notice, if you resonate with me at all, that integrity is a massive piece. If I am wanting to throw my phone out the window, that's not when I'm going to pick it up and post. I really, really take it seriously that we are putting energy and frequencies into everything that we do. Just in the same way that if you were to walk into a room and notice the tension in the air, get honest about how this converts in technology. If you write a post and you're feeling stressed and frantic and you're just doing it to smash it out there, the response will not be as wholesome as it could be. So I always take the sacred pause before posting. I do everything manually still, so it's connected to me, and attune to whether or not this will actually land in the hearts and minds of the people that I'm here to offer my nurturing to. Having a plan is really, really helpful to help soothe the nervous system, but then also being flexible and attuning intuitively to whether or not that content in that moment of time is actually going to be of the highest service. My biggest message, I guess, is knowing that you don't need to do it all at once. There's so much to learn. There's so many systems in business. Start with one thing at a time. I know it's going to be so tempting to open up 10 browser tabs of all of the epic resources below, but what I encourage you to do is have 1 month and 1 theme per month to work with. Taking one thing at a time will allow you to get way more done in the long term because you're actually allowing yourself to drop in, be focused and productive rather than scattering all of your different energies and attention to so many different things. So my question is, what do you align with in terms of social media? Is it video? Is it written word? Is it quotes? Is it Instagram stories? Is it lives? Is it conversation? And just do that really fucking well. Just that thing. Do it well. And once that becomes a habit, it takes up way less energy and mental space so that you can use that space that you've used on social media to do something new and to create something else. So my question is, in closing, how many hours a week are you actually devoted to giving your time and your precious energy and attention to social media? How many hours a week? Because in reality, if you check your screen time on your phone, the tracking device will probably tell you that you spend multiple hours per day getting lost in those apps. Take back your fucking power. Implement some boundaries. Create space for what it is that you're really here to do. And unplug to reconnect. Have fun with it all, spirited seekers. If you have any questions about social media and how to make it sacred, feel free to drop me a DM over on Instagram, and also be patient in my response because I check them once per week. But you are incredibly important to me, and I also trust that you're exactly where you need to be and you'll be guided to the information that will most support you right now. All right, I am signing off. Have so much fun playing in the resource library below, and I will see you soon over on the gram.